Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 13 of Just a Couple Thoughts. I am one half of your couple, Kevin.
I'm the other half, Sarah.
You would think we've done this enough that you're able to introduce yourself.
Well, you've only done it 13 times.
Technically now we've done it for 13 weeks. Technically a little bit more because of our breaks. This episode's delayed, by the way. I have thoughts about turning this into a bi-weekly podcast. Probably won't do that, but if anybody's watching this, tell me your thoughts on that. Whether you want to keep it weekly or bi-weekly. Bi-weekly is just so we have the same upload day. So no matter what, we'll upload on time. Weekly, we're going to have delays like this one or like whatever, but we will upload every week. That's the only real difference. But with that said, we have recap to do.
Wow.
Yeah, we have one comment.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, I read every comment. Although this comment's a little long. Thanks, Ian, for leaving a long comment. But
it's funny because I was playing Destiny Child, the mobile game.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but I wish. And I just look over, and Kevin's checking YouTube, like the comments and stuff. And I just see like a big paragraph, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, Yin writes a lot. So, and then he expanded it, and I'm like, whoa, that's a lot.
Well, okay, it's honestly not that long. I'll give you the highlights. I don't want to say it all, because I'll be like a solid 10-15 minutes just me talking about a comment. But so the first part talks about where the money for Fanime, a little bit of the money for Fanime goes. So he's mentioning that a portion of the money of the Fanime goes to the union workers who handle the products that's being loaded in the dealer's hall and stuff like that. Basically paying the unions. He knows this because he works at dealer's hall every so often.
Yeah, just to recap, that Fanime is the con that we go to. Yeah, in case you didn't watch the last podcast.
This is from the convention podcast when we're talking about the several conventions. He also talks about what he likes about going to conventions. His favorite part about going to conventions is just having like no responsibilities when he goes to conventions. And it's just hanging out, basically. Meeting new people, like making new friends. Like we said, you do meet lots of interesting people.
Meet a lot of weird people.
Rude, Sarah. It's an anime convention. Everyone's weird. We're weird.
Okay, but there's some people that are really weird, and I maybe that's like really rude to say, but it's just like working a job. Sometimes you meet people that are like really cool, and then sometimes you meet people that are like not so cool. They're a little bit weird and a little bit obsessive.
Another thing he likes about the conventions is the panels, but he's somewhat lost interest in going to panels because he goes to a lot of conventions, which makes sense. For me, the panels are still kind of fun, especially when it's panels I've never gone to before. I understand, like, if you go to panels and, like, they're the same panel every year. Like, I know Fanime has the Cthulhu for President panel every year, and I've never gone to it, but I'm like, how much can you even talk about that? Another part he talks about is his least favorite part about conventions, and it's mostly getting sick.
Yeah, he always ends up getting... he gets sick, but it's also allergy season whenever we go to this specific con.
Yeah.
So he's always super miserable.
Well, every convention is like kind of this con flu always going around.
Yeah, it's like a concoction of like...
It's just people passing germs around, and then no one is really like thinking about being hygienic. So a lot of people like wash their hands like obsessively. Germs get passed around, money gets passed around, people are touching everything, so it's not surprising that people get sick.
Yeah. I am super cautious about getting sick because we've been to conventions. Yeah, I'm very I always wear masks when I go, unless I forget, and I always bring hand wipes or hand sanitizer, and I always wash my hands in some way. Because I think people are disgusting.
Yeah, I usually
not like in general, but I mean, just some people are kind of gross.
Yeah, I usually don't do anything for cons really. I don't really care about being sick, and I very rarely get sick at cons. I don't know, it's just like my immune system, but it's just I don't do any preparation. If I get sick, I get sick. So kind of whatever.
It's from eating trash can pizza. That's why.
You don't need it.
Sick. That's why you never get sick, because you ate pizza out of that trash can that one time.
Sarah. That's a story for another time. The trash can pizza story.
Why? Just say it now. Are you embarrassed about eating pizza out of a trash can?
No, but that should be a special. Okay. So in middle school, everyone's disgusting in middle school, Sarah.
You're just making excuses for something disgusting that you did.
Well, okay. To be fair, it wasn't that disgusting. It was a whole piece of pizza, like untouched. It was just in a trash can because no one ate it.
Was it on top?
Yeah, I don't eat anything with the bottom of a trash can. Anyways, I was poor. And I didn't have lunch, basically. So a very common thing I would do, because no one would, in middle school, people have free lunches at my school, basically. And they would use the free lunches regardless.
You had free lunches? You didn't have paid lunch?
Some people have free lunches.
Oh.
Yeah. It's usually like, I'm pretty sure I could have qualified for free lunch, but my mom never did the paperwork for some reason.
I'm 100% sure you could have gotten free lunch. You just had to fill out the paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but because my school was very poor area, most people got free lunches. There's not a lot of people that didn't get free lunch, but it's like 100 people in like my 500 population school. People will redeem the free lunch regardless, but they won't like what I give. And the pizza at my school, pretty shitty. Every once in a while, I'll rummage through the trash and basically, it will usually be chips. I'm not like discussing who like grabs the soup or whatever. It's usually chips I'll grab because there's like full bags of chips that's not even open. Sometimes it'll be like a pizza because the pizza was in a cardboard case. So I just open it up like, oh, pizza.
Did somebody eat it?
No.
People just threw it away?
People throw it away because they don't like the pizza in my school because the pizza's disgusting. Some people would just eat the chips. Some people would just eat the pizza. Some people would just get the milk and chips. Like, it was very uncommon to find. Was like,
was it the Red Baron one? Was it the Red Baron pizza?
Probably. Like, sandwiches, like peanut butter sandwiches. Very common.
The Uncrustables?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, very common. You can find in pizza trash can, unopened. I'm not a complete, like, slob, Sarah. I was just poor.
Once it hits that trash can and I'm not eating it.
It's one of my many poor stories, I guess. I guess I can tell more poor stories, but I'll save those for next time or when it's relevant.
Well, your sister might be listening, so I'm sure she'd love to hear your poor stories.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm definitely sure I could apply for free lunch because I move schools a lot. And some schools I'll have free lunch. Like pretty much almost all my elementary schools, except for my private school, I had free lunch. But for some reason, Washington Manor I didn't have free lunch for. I don't know. I don't think I had free lunch for John Muir. I think it's middle school I just didn't have free lunch.
After elementary school, I stopped getting lunch because I didn't really want to stand in line for it, I guess.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to ask for stuff anymore, so I just kind of... My dad would pack me lunch.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just stopped getting school lunch.
Anyways, continuing on with the Ian's comment. When we're mentioning the end of a series, basically. He's talking about Mass Effect 3 and how that was kind of like the end of the Mass Effect trilogy. After finishing it, he like wanted more out of the series, basically. Mm-hmm. I think that's like kind of the worst feeling. I mean, we talked about it before. Like the ideal way to end a series is to you feel satisfied but also want more. Mm-hmm. But I think the worst way is like for it to be unsatisfying and you want more.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't say anything here that he was unsatisfied with the end, but I can only assume so. Most people were, but who knows? And he talked about how he kind of wanted more like fan service in the series and like the characters talking to each other basically, and more of that, and just all hanging out, which I get. There's lots of series out there that I read or watch where I just want the characters hanging out. I just not interested in like the main drama that they're going through, basically. Like my favorite parts of Naruto is just when the characters are just hanging out. And like some of the battle stuff is cool, but my favorite parts are just from like early Naruto when it's just them hanging out. Like from the TV show, the anime, is just the fillers of just hanging out. Those are fun. He also calls me out on mispronouncing Millennium Puzzle. I said the Millennial Puzzle. And he likes Let's Get Jacked.
I told you it's good.
No, it's not.
I told you.
It is not good. I don't like...
Oh my god. See, he knows where it's at.
No.
He knows where it's at. Let's get jacked.
No.
Yes.
I feel like I'm going to constantly say no. And for some reason, like, everyone's going to be watching this. Be like, yeah, let's get jacked. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get jacked.
No.
Oh my god. I love it. It's good. Let's make it happen. Okay.
So, I'm going to mumble a lot and I'm going to mispronounce stuff. And, like, it's going to happen. I'm not going to actively go back and correct everything. Like, for instance, in one of the Pokemon episodes, when we talk about Detective Pikachu, I mentioned that, the Mewtwo was, like, referenced to be the same Mewtwo because they mentioned the event being 10 years ago, but they mentioned it was actually 20 years ago.
Yeah,
because that's when the movie came.
Yeah, that's when the movie came out.
Yeah, because I accidentally said 10, the movie said 20. It happens. The same with the Endgame podcast when I mixed up Angela and Valkyrie. Like, it's going to happen that I mess up every once in a while, and I am too lazy, I guess, to go back and correct myself and set up everything, get the right sound settings. It's just not going to happen. But I will mention my corrections at the very least. Like, I will say that, oh, I messed up here, or I messed up here, I messed up here, basically. I'm not gonna I'm gonna let it be free. But that's our only real recap today.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for commenting. I appreciate the comment.
Let's get jacked.
Like I say every time.
Episode 13, let's get jacked.
Like I said, every time, I appreciate comments. Feel free to comment every time. We will respond. I will see it. And if you're uncomfortable with putting a comment with like a question or whatever, we have the email. Anyways, do you have a topic today, Sarah?
I thought about, because I know that we said that we're not going to talk about it, but I kind of thought about the Pokemon Pokedex thing.
Okay, well,
that's happening.
I think we should at least do this in somewhat chronological order. So let's make this the game podcast. Let's talk about E3. Since that's like the hot thing, and it's all over now. So
I mean, I didn't watch some of the presentations. Like I didn't watch Ubisoft's.
We're only doing stuff that's relevant to us. You don't need to watch Ubisoft. Most of the stuff they announced was the Tom Clancy stuff.
They didn't do any Assassin's Creed.
I think the opening was like a Assassin's Creed like orchestra thing, but they only really announced like Tom Clancy stuff and maybe an Assassin's Creed side game or whatever.
Did you watch it? The Ubisoft one?
I skimmed it. But yeah, let's talk about E3. At least the stuff that's relevant to us. Yeah. The stuff we care about.
Let's
which I think will really just be the Nintendo E3.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
I just feel kind of bad because we always talk about like games and like Pokemon and Pokemon and Pokemon.
Well, it's kind of inconvenient time because we were just talking about Pokemon because Detective Pikachu, and then E3 just happened.
Yeah.
At least last week it was just about conventions and the series, but even then that was still about our like nerd centric stuff. But like, if you're interested in a topic that you want to hear us talk about, comment it. We will talk about it.
Otherwise, we're just gonna keep talking about Pokemon.
And no one can stop us.
So,
but do you want to talk? You want me to start with the stuff I was interested in?
Yeah, sure.
I start because Nintendo was pretty much the last presentation E3 had. The last big one that it really had. But some of the stuff I was interested in happened earlier on. For instance, Cyberpunk 2077.
Cyberpunk? Okay.
Like I mentioned before, I really like D&D and tabletop games. And Cyberpunk is a tabletop game. And I actually really like the tabletop game. I actually think like the tabletop game is pretty cool. And I really like looking through the old tech in Cyberpunk, because it's kind of funny reading the old tech from Cyberpunk 2020, which is the tabletop game.
2020, that's coming up pretty
I
soon.
know, right? So the old tabletop game, I think, came out like it was 80 or early 90s, something like that. I don't remember. I wasn't born around the time, so I can't remember correctly. But the tabletop game was called Cyberpunk 2020, in the distant future of 2020. Some of the tech that they have in Cyberpunk 2020 was super interesting to see at the time. They have the internet, sort of, in Cyberpunk 2020, but they don't have wireless internet. So everything in the Cyberpunk universe, I don't know about 2077, but in 2020 is wired. So it's funny to see, like, oh, we have to hack this thing. Well, I actually had to get in there and like plugged my personal deck, which is like a computer on the wrist, or like strapped onto them, into the computer in order to manually hack it. And then and then the security system is like digital demons or something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, so like the net is, I think, is what they call it, is like their own thing where you have these like battles in the net, and like you have to face against like demons and like hellhounds. And
it's like Digimon.
Yeah, sort of, actually. It's called like Digimon.
Or like Mega Man.
Yeah. So it is sort of like that, actually. That's pretty accurate. And that's like the security system. And you see, like, oh, here's some of the future tech they have in 2020, basically. Right? And I think like one of my favorite ones I see that gets a chuckle on me all the time is a portable drum set. Because have you ever seen those commercials for those kid toys where they have like these sticks and like they're connected to like headphones or like something on you, and then you just swing your sticks and you can like pretend play the drums.
Yeah,
that's pretty much in the tabletop game.
Nice.
So you get these people, because they have recreational things. You have these people like winning the sticks around like their actual.
Fiction has become reality.
I know. And now it's a kid's toy. So yeah, there's a lot of ideas in 2020 is pretty cool. Cyberpunk 2020. And I'm very excited to see the world of 2077. To see where everything got. And Keanu Reeves are in it. So
yeah.
What else there? Doom looks cool. I like playing the first Doom. Didn't finish it, but you know, I liked it. And then FF7 remake.
Yes.
We finally got to see more FF7 stuff.
It's not dead.
Yeah, it's not dead. I remember when I showed you like I think the PlayStation Present whatever thing, and the opening had the sound of the FF7 menu theme, and you were like, that wasn't was it?
I really thought the game was dead.
Yeah, no, it's been so long. I really did think like, oh, it's not gonna happen.
But it's coming. It's coming. It's gonna be playable.
Yeah. That's so weird for me to think. Because, man, think about it, like, it was kind of sort of teased. There was a tech demo for it for the PS3 when it launched. And now it's coming out like next year. That's so weird to think, actually.
I thought I'd be more excited about it, but I'm not too excited now.
I think the main issue with me right now is that it's split up in episodes. And so the first episode is just a bombing run, right? It's just Midgard. Episode Midgard.
Midgar?
Yeah.
There's no D at the end of Midgar.
Oh, sorry.
It's just Midgar.
So, you don't get to see like other things. I'm not gonna see my boy Vincent yet. I'm not gonna see Red 13 yet. But they seem to
to listen to Cosmo Canyon.
No.
One of the jamminest jams.
I am excited to see the game and finally get to play and experience Final Fantasy VII all over again. I beat it a long time ago and I never touched it again. So I'm sure if I play it again, it's gonna feel kind of foreign. But I'm excited for this remake and to feel, nostalgic. Basically, it's kind of like when Yakuza Kiwami came out, and I was like, this feels like how I remember playing the game.
But see, but it's basically the same game. But for FF7, it's not. It's more like 15 than it is.
Yeah,
in its original.
It very much
original game.
It looks like because it has this, I think it has the same director as 13 and 15. No, it doesn't. It has the Kingdom Hearts director. It's just Kingdom Hearts, dude. So, but it very much looks like a actual fun version of 13 and 15. Okay, so my ideal version of playing the game, right, is kind of like what they're having right now. Where you build up TP and then you play the game and you can switch characters, right? Because it's more of an action oriented version of the original game, basically.
Is it bad if I say this? But I don't like it.
That's fine.
I really don't like it, and I know a lot of people don't like the
turn-based combat.
The turn-based combat and the timer for everything. But like, I just really, and I don't know why people complain about it, and I know this is one of like Yin's complaints, but it's like you can always turn that off.
Yeah, the active version.
Yeah, you can always turn it off in the original game, so then it's more like
more of a turn-based thing.
Yeah, more than and you can actually take your time and think about stuff rather than have enemies wailing on you the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah, like I know what you mean. Like I think given the choice, I would rather, because I really like turn-based combat, I would rather have turn-based combat and have it be more strategic instead of this action-oriented combat. Yeah. But given that they want to change it and actually have a remake, I understand why they want to change combat.
Yeah, instead of like having it be like
just a high def Final Fantasy 7.
I get changing it, but I don't know. I just kind of wish it was
old school. Well,
yeah, like it kind of.
I wish it was too. Honestly, like if they ever remake Final Fantasy 6, I want it to be old school. I don't want active combat for Final Fantasy 6, but it's one of those things where like it is what we get. At the very least, I want one day for us to have mods for where you can just use the models and then have it play against and play old school style. I do like what I see now. I think my ideal version of it though is to have it that basically not to have, because I haven't played it yet, so I don't know how exactly it plays. But I wanted to have it so TP doesn't build fast, so it encourages you to switch characters. So it's like an expansion of like the original gameplay where like, oh, you move to this character, you use up this TP to do special moves, and you actually have to switch to the other character. And so to keep your DPS uptime. Like you can still do normal attacks, but if you want to be efficient and actually kill things like fast, you actively need to switch characters and use up their TP. And then we switch out, their TP is building in the background. And you can't have one character and just keep willing to build up TP that way, but it's inefficient. You'd rather keep switching. That's my ideal version, because I like the idea of having to control all the different characters and being like efficient with all of them. I like that idea.
I mean, that's kind of what it looks like in the demo, the gameplay.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that. I don't know how fast TP builds though. I don't like the idea of just like, oh, I get to play Cloud, and then if I only play Cloud the entire series, I can beat it. Yeah. I don't like that idea. I do like the idea of having like, oh, you can play Cloud here, but you play Barret here, you can do special things.
Yeah.
Right? Because they have that during on the first boss where the Cloud is on top of the thing. So he's in the middle of doing something, so he switched over to Barret, so he's able to shoot it and help out Cloud, basically.
Yeah, or like when I think in one of the trailers or in one of the spots where Barret was walking down some hall or something, and the soldiers were shooting at them, right? And then he shot them, like you could shoot them like way up in the rafters and stuff. So
yeah. So I like that idea, but I do want them to focus on having to switch characters more. But who knows? Maybe they will do that. It's just like is something I want them to do, and if they are already doing it, great. Cool.
It's just what I wanted.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like I didn't like about playing 15, because 15 you could play Noctis all the way, and like at that point I was like, but so why do I have the rest of these people other than team attacks?
Yeah.
Right. So I like the idea of having you actually have to make your party, and then depending on how you make your party, to switching characters who act differently.
What was your go-to party in 7?
Well, Cloud, Vincent.
Well, I mean,
yeah, Cloud, Vincent, Tifa, and if I remember correctly, my last one was always Flex, but I think it was either Yuffie or Red 13. I think it was Red 13.
not
Kate Sith.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I ever dedicated time to Kate Sith, because I think at the time I was like, well, he's not cool.
He's not cool. Isn't he pretty good though?
Yeah, he is pretty good. Like, but you gotta keep in mind, when I first played 7, I was very much a kid. So I beat the game, and I never did any extra stuff. But I beat the game, and I only used characters I cared about. So Cloud, Vincent, because he's the edgiest boy on earth. Tifa, because she's hot. Sort of in the game, but you know, I can project my what I think she looks like. And I just, you know, and my last one was always a Flex, but I kind of liked, you know, Red 13. So, and Yuffie was also chick. So there you go.
I liked well, I never really finished the game, but I would my dad had kind of pretty much finished the game.
He was very close to being done.
Yeah, so I had all the characters, right? I liked, well, Cloud was in your party always. And then I think I always had Barrett, Tifa, and yeah, the last one's always a toss-up.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because I liked Kate Sith. And then I got older, I'm like, man, Kate Sith's kind of lame.
He's not cool.
He's not cool at all. But like when I was a kid, I was like, Kate Sith, he's so funny. What a funny guy, right? And I wasn't really a big fan of Red 13 when I was a kid. I liked Sid. I thought Sid was super cool. But he's just some old guy.
He's just a dude.
He's just some old guy with a staff thing.
Was it a spear?
No, I think it was a staff. But I really liked Barrett. I thought Barrett was cool. I thought Tifa was cool.
What was your reaction to spoilers, I guess? Aerith dying.
I remember it happening. I remember it being sad.
So fun fact about my first reaction to the death of Aerith. It didn't process.
Or is it Eris?
I think in like Japan is Eris and America is Aerith. I think that's how it is. Anyways, I didn't process it when I was first playing the game. Like it like happened, and I'm like, okay. And then like Cloud was sinking her to the bottom of the lake. I was like, what's happening right now? And then much later, I was like, oh, she's dead.
Like, where'd she go?
Yeah, I was like, where'd she go? Oh, she's dead.
That's like when I thought that like Obi-Wan had just like went on
Spoilers,
vacation.
I guess.
Yeah, when I thought he just went on vacation somewhere or something.
You thought he teleported away.
Yeah.
Right? Well, to be fair, like I can understand where you get that from. Yeah, when Obi-Wan died in Empire Strikes Back, I believe. Yeah.
No.
Was it New Hope?
Was that the last one?
The last one's Return of the Jedi.
I thought he died in the first one.
New Hope?
Yeah.
I thought he died in the second one. Whatever. He died in one of the movies. It's been a while since I rewatched the movies. You actually rewatched it before, more recently than I did, so you will probably know better than I did. But when he died, he just kind of disappears. You don't see his body, right? Because I guess that's how Jedis die. So when you watched it the first time, I guess a long time ago, you just thought he like teleported away.
Yeah. It's more recently, like within the past 5 years or something. That's when I last watched it.
Like I haven't watched it since high school. And I was like my third time watching it. So, but yeah, like I can understand where you come from that, because Jedi powers would kind of like nebulous in that movie.
Yeah, and then
So like teleportation is not like that far out.
yeah, so I thought he teleported, and then Luke could hear Obi-Wan's voice, and I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, so
so-
he's like talking to him like
Telekinetically.
telekinetically, and like I was like, oh, so he must be hiding out somewhere. And
No,
then
he's
at the
dead.
end of at the very last movie,
He's a Force ghost.
yeah, he's just sitting there with Yoda, and like, but Yoda's not dead, right? Is he
No,
dead?
Yoda's dead.
Oh, he died. That's right.
Yeah, he died in sleep.
Oh yeah.
Right? Well, technically not asleep. He kind of just like, it disappeared.
Yeah. So anyway, Yoda's dead there, right?
Mhm.
And then someone else is there, right? Like,
It's depending on which version you saw, it's either just Yoda and Obi-Wan or Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Anakin.
oh yeah, so Anakin was there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so they're all chilling, and I know that Anakin's dead. So so I'm like,
Oh.
and I know Yoda's dead, and I'm like, oh man, so Obi-Wan was dead this whole time.
Plot twist.
I thought he was, well, because I kind of skipped a lot of the movie because I was getting really bored.
Mhm.
And I was like, I kind of know what happens at the end anyway. So I kind of just want to see the end.
Bored of Star Wars. That's like blasphemy in some circles, Sarah.
I mean, maybe I just got to watch it again. I like the first one.
There are a lot of legitimate criticisms of Star Wars. Saying some is kind of like an understatement. There's a lot of legitimate criticism. I love Star Wars. Don't get me wrong. I love it more than you do, definitely. But there are like legitimate criticisms of Star Wars.
I think the first one is my favorite.
Yeah.
Because the first one, I was like, it started really, like, there was a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, I was like, okay, you don't need to make any more movies.
Yeah.
This is the end. They beat the bad guy.
A lot of people say second's their favorite.
The thing like blew up, and then they got like knighted or something, and now it's the end. And then I'm like, oh no, there's more movies now.
Yep. Yeah. It's hard to say which is my favorite. The first one I think is my favorite movie, but my favorite scenes are in Return of the Jedi.
Was that the second one?
The last one.
Oh,
A lot of people say the second one's their favorite. I am inclined to like agree, but I think I like the first one as a movie, and I like the last one because it has a lot of my favorite scenes. Because it's the completion of Luke's journey and him, confronting his dark side and like whatever. So I really like that. I really like character arcs and stuff. So watching Luke complete his is kind of like my favorite thing. Empire Strikes Back, yeah, it's good. It has a lot of the darker moments. Like it's the heroes at the lowest. I understand why that is their favorite, but it's just not mine. Anyways, E3. So yeah, I think outside of the Nintendo one, that was the only stuff I was interested in.
mm-hmm.
The Bethesda one's funny, just hearing the guys go, woo!
Oh,
yeah! Woo!
Those guys sitting up front. Woo! I just really liked going away from Bethesda, but like at the was it the Sony one? I
There's
forgot.
no Sony ones here.
Oh, that's right. I
There's
mean
Square Enix?
the Cyberpunk one.
That was the Microsoft.
That was the Microsoft one.
Yeah.
When Keanu Reeves came out,
Mm.
and then somebody was like, "It's like
you're breathtaking."
yeah,
Like, no, you're breathtaking.
yeah."
That was cool. There's also the Tokyo Ghostwire or Ghostwire Tokyo, whatever one.
Yeah, it looked kind of cool, I guess.
There's no gameplay. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks interesting.
The trailer looked cool.
The Rapture.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it looks interesting enough that I'm like, oh, I'm interested where it's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. There's also the lady. Yay.
Oh yeah.
The lady who presented it.
Oh yeah. She was cute.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I think that's about it. Outside of the Nintendo one.
Now the Nintendo one. Okay, fellas. Let me just say that I am excited for Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
Okay.
honestly, the fact that it's on the Switch, I think will at least make me more inclined to play it more often.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I love New Leaf. I really like managing my own town, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think New Leaf is probably my favorite Animal Crossing, even more than the GameCube one.
I never played the GameCube one.
Oh, that's surprising, honestly.
Well, I never had a GameCube.
That's true. Well, you have a Wii, you can still play it.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I really like New Leaf. I actually played all of them except City. You have City, right?
Yeah, you can play it if you want. It's right there.
Oh, I'm good.
It's honestly, I don't know. That one isn't my favorite. But I like that you can go into the city. I think that's really cool.
But yeah, the 3DS one, New Leaf, honestly my favorite one.
Because I remember seeing Animal Crossing when it was on the GameCube, like in Target, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cute, I guess. But I don't have a GameCube, so
yeah. Did you play Wild World?
Yeah, of course I did.
Okay, was that like your first Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild World was good.
Yeah, no, that was also my first one. I played Wild World first and then the original. Yeah, I love the Animal Crossing games actually.
I was watching PBG's video, Peanut Butter Gamer. He's a YouTuber. Not like he needs any, you know.
He needs a boost from this small podcast. We're gonna give you a solid 2 viewers.
Yeah, but just in case people don't know what I'm talking about, he was doing a thing where he was like, oh, like 10 things that I want to see in the new Animal Crossing. And he was talking about how like the people have been complaining about the villagers and how they're like kind of boring. Like they're all kind of boring now.
I mean, okay, that's true, but that's never been a focus for Animal Crossing for me.
Well, I mean, they used to be kind of mean. Like they used to, like the mean villagers used to be actually mean to you. And now they're just like kind of
everyone loves you.
Yeah, everybody's like, hey, how's it going? And there's like no like incentive to like try to win their friendship other than get a, you know.
Well, it's kind of hard to do that in New Leaf because you're just the mayor. So you're not really a neighbor.
Well, you're still their neighbor.
Yeah, you're still a neighbor, but you're not really. Everyone like, oh, hey, mayor, in New Leaf. So
Not really. I mean, they're still friends with you. They're like, hey, how's it going?
I mean, that's what I mean, but like, you don't really have mean people because you're the mayor. So even the mean people are like, hey, mayor.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But I'd like for them to be mean to me.
You win their affection.
Well, because my favorite villager is Octavian, which maybe is not that many people's favorite villager.
I don't have a favorite one. I don't even know most of them, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I play to build my house.
I really like Octavian, like, because he's really mean. I like Octavian and I like Tom. So all those grumpy villagers, I really like them because they're just like so funny. And they're really mean to you. They're like, don't talk to me. When you first like meet them, they're like, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. And then you like win their affection, and then they're like, hey, how's it going? Maybe come over to my house sometime. I'll sell you my lamp for 3,000
Stupid amount of money.
Yeah. Hey, can I buy that thing off of you? How much do you want for it?
50 bells.
Yeah, 50 bells? Sounds good.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I kind of want from this Animal Crossing. But not a lot of things. There's some things. It's kind of like very easily attainable, right? I just want to build my island and have a nice house. So I like the idea of starting out with a tent like you used to. And then you actually have to build it up. I kind of miss that. I understand why they changed it because they want, they want you to have a house, basically. Actually be able to decorate it. But I like the idea of just like building it up from like the ground up.
I like how they added in the stuff from Happy Home Designer, which I was like, they have to put into the new. You've literally played all the Animal Crossing games except for the original. Yes.
Every single one.
Yes.
Even Amiibo Festival.
Yes.
That is amazing to me.
People really hate on Amiibo Festival, but I actually like it.
Okay. In defense of Amiibo Festival, it's just like any other board game. And it's sort of customizable, so there's some kind of, cool things about it. The worst part about it is the price. It should not be its price.
It should not. Well, if you get it on sale, then I think it's a good deal.
How much is it on sale?
I think it's like maybe less than $20.
Okay, there's like a board game at that point. Yeah.
I mean, it's always on sale because nobody wants it.
Yeah, but it's pretty much a board game at that point. Yeah, no, that's worth it.
I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
and like
I think so. Here's the way you have to see it. You have to see it as like a board game, right? That you just have to play on your Wii U. You have to get it cheap, and the cool things about it is that you can customize your board, right? So you can have like, oh, this area has a fountain in it, or this area you can renovate it to be something else.
Yeah, you can buy stuff, kind of like how you had like public projects and like New Leaf.
Yeah.
Right? So you can like use the points that you get from playing the game to like put stuff into your town, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all add something. Like a campground adds something.
So you can have these new events basically.
Yeah.
In certain areas. And certain amiibos will have special events in certain areas. So you really like if you really like want to think about it, like, oh, there's some semblance of strategy here.
Yeah.
And then you have to think of the stock mechanics, but that's not, that's just a thing in the game.
That's like for some characters it'll be like, oh, I had like a good time at work and I actually made some extra money. Yeah. And then you'll get like bells and you'll get happiness. And it'll be like each, like when you step on the event, it'll be different for each character, which is kind of cool if you're a fan of like Animal Crossing. At least I think so.
Yeah.
But
like, I understand why people don't like it. It's just like a board game. It's like Monopoly, basically. You roll and you do your thing.
Yeah.
But like, it is kind of fun if you like board games or you just like Animal Crossing. They like the characters, to be more specific.
Yeah.
So.
And if you have like if you went and bought the Animal Crossing cards, the amiibo cards, you can have them move into, like, you can choose who you want to like facilitate the game. So that's pretty cool too.
Lots of neat stuff that like no one, which I get, it takes a while to get there, but that no one actually went into.
Yeah.
But it is kind of fun.
And they have like mini games that I also think are kind of fun.
Okay, that's where I disagree. The mini games are not fun.
No, I think some of the mini games are fun. Well, okay, I think one of them is fun. I think the only one that I think is really fun, sort of, is the quiz one. That's the only one that I really like, because it quizzes you on like what kind of like animal it is, or like what kind of bug it is.
It's just like Animal Crossing trivia.
Yeah, and it's cool. I like that one.
But yeah, like in the very few people who will give Amiibo Festival a defense, kind of fun actually.
Yeah, and I think it's like I just remember we were playing one time, and the ocean is the most dangerous place to be.
The beach.
Yeah. If you're by the beach, it is the most dangerous place to be. You can
if you land on an unhappy area that also decreases your money, is it completely possible that you lose all your money in the ocean?
Yeah.
I remember I won because of that.
I was so close to winning. And then
you landed on that spot and it was like, yeah, I win.
It's like I tripped and fell and all my money landed in the ocean. I'm like, whoa. I was so close. I was gonna win. I was one turn away. And that's the reason why I kind of like the game, because it's like, I mean, most people would say like, oh, it's just like RNG.
Which, sort of.
Yeah. But it's just like, it's just kind of fun. It's a cute game, and it doesn't require a lot of like thinking. It's just you're going around the board and you're having a good time and with friends.
Yeah. It's a very good background game.
Yeah.
For something on console, it's a very good background game. If you play the game and you're just with your friends and you're just talking to each other, it's kind of fun, actually.
Yeah.
It's long. Every game is long, though.
It's like a 60-minute game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
like, it gives you the option for having it in, like, 30 minutes. But I was playing it with them, and we had to extend the time, basically.
But yeah, Animal Crossing, and then there's Pokemon.
Pokemon news.
So, Sword and Shield is about to come out. November. I am very neutral to Sword and Shield. I'm very neutral to almost every Pokemon announcement nowadays, right? I just want to play the game most of the time. I think the last time I was like really excited about a Pokemon announcement was maybe the original Ruby and Sapphire.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't been like super excited about, an announcement forever. I'm always excited to play the games, don't get me wrong. But the announcements are like, eh. They're like, oh, cool, new game. Can't wait to play that.
I think I was like, the one thing I was really excited for a long time ago was Diamond and Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks so different. Because there was things like, it wasn't just like 2D sprites.
Mm-hmm.
There was like 3D Pokemon centers.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, whoa, this game looks so good.
And so we've already talked about like our thoughts about the Pokemon game, so we won't go over that. But what do you think about the new Sword and Shield right now, Sarah?
I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see some new Pokemon.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that I can always say, like, oh, new Pokemon, cool, right?
Yeah.
New Pokemon designs are like, yeah, they look like Pokemon still. It's very rare that we get a Pokemon that doesn't look like a Pokemon. Mm-hmm. I think the last time we had that was like Mega Evolutions, but those were like the exception.
Yeah, I'm excited for the open regions, like the open areas where you can just walk around and run into Pokemon.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. The raid battles are interesting, but I don't really care about them too much.
Yeah.
As long as it's a Pokemon game, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't take that much to make me happy with the game.
Yeah.
So
it just needs to be Pokemon, honestly.
Yeah. And like, people were telling me, well, people are getting tired of like Pokemon, like the old, you can't just make the same game over and over again. I'm like, but they did that for Dragon Quest, and they're up to 11.
They do that for several games.
Yeah.
Like, and I see a point at the very least that they're kind of just remaking the game over and over again. But I don't need that much innovation in Pokemon. You just need...
Why fix what's not broken?
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I don't know, maybe this sounds like really old-fashioned, but like, or maybe like really like biased, but I really like the Pokemon games, like even like the older one, like they're all the same game, but they're all really fun.
Yeah. For me, it's always like, you just need new Pokemon, maybe a new format, maybe
a new region.
Yeah. A new region, new Pokemon, new format. Maybe new format. You don't always need
good music.
Oh, good music, yeah. And like that's all I really need for a new Pokemon game. That's enough for me to spend like $60 every like 2 or 3 years.
I'd like better characters.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd like a rival that doesn't like me. I would like...
This rival likes you, let's face it.
Yeah. This rival looks like your childhood friend.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, what else you could put into Pokemon that that'll make it, like, better? Mm-hmm. Other than, fixing some format issues, basically.
I like the gyms are back.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like the idea of having gyms at stadiums.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone's like cheering for you or cheering for the gym leader. That's cool to me.
It really reminds me of like the beginning of the anime. Mm-hmm. So like that's pretty cool to me. I'm like,
I want it to be that like you can enter a gym and everyone's booing you. Yeah. Everyone's at like, ooh, feed the hate.
Yeah. I would love that.
And that's probably not gonna happen, but I would love that.
No, it's a kid's game. You can't have,
Yeah, but yeah, like, the reason why I'm not like super excited for new Pokemon games anymore, or not super excited for new Pokemon announcements anymore, is that they're always gonna be like it's like everyone else's thing where like it's gonna be the same game. It's just that I like playing the game, so like, oh, a new game, I'll play it, right? But it's always gonna be like the game, like it's always gonna be Pokemon. It's so I would rather like be about the announcements and play the game and be like super excited every time a new Pokemon shows up. Like, I don't know what this is. Well, I don't know what this is, right? Yeah. And actually experience the region And then once I beat the game, I like min-max everything. Actually be competitive about it.
Yeah, I like the discovery of like new Pokemon, which I'm just like, you know, I like that they're announcing stuff for it. And really, if I wanted to, I could not watch them. But I'm just so curious. I just want to know.
Well, for me, it's like I'll see them when I can. I don't really care.
I just want to know. I just want to know.
I mean, you'll always see some, but you're not gonna see all of them.
Yeah.
I remember like when I was playing X and Y, and Toxapex showed up. I'm like, what is this? And when I actually caught when I actually caught it, I was like, whatever. Or the pre-evolved version of it, and I realized its ability, and like, oh, and there's that stats. Oh, and like there's lots of Pokemon that's like, oh, cool. What else is there?
For the Nintendo one or from the Pokemon one?
Nintendo. We'll get into the drama about it later.
The Breath of the Wild 2 announcement.
I'm kind of excited for that.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Even though it was like they didn't really show anything, and
it just announced it like, oh, we're doing it.
Yeah.
But I am excited. I really like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, me too.
When we were playing it, we could not stop playing it for a while.
It was a really awesome. It's a beautiful game, and there's so much freedom.
Yeah,
and it's just a relaxing game.
It's one of the few games where like after beating the game, I still felt like I wanted to explore the world.
Yeah.
Like I haven't felt that about a game in forever. I think last time I felt that way is like the first time I played Fallout 3, maybe. But yeah, when I finally beat Breath of the Wild, I was like, I still want to see more.
Yeah.
I still want to do more stuff.
I still want to climb more places and
fight more Lynels, do more shrines. Like, I still want to do more.
It kind of ended for me when I got all the horses that I wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, like it.
Actually, I should probably build up that town. Now that I think about it, you know, that town.
The town you can,
yeah. I should probably build it up.
Yeah, that was also a fun thing to do. But like, it really was one of those games where, like, oh, I beat the game, but I still want to do more in the game. It's very rare that I feel that about a game.
Did you spend money on your house?
No, but
I think I put like the maximum amount that you could spend on your house.
I mean, I probably did. I did what I can to 100% of the game, except for finding all the Koroks. I'm pretty sure I did like everything else though. Oh, so I am very excited for Breath of the Wild 2.
I really liked that trailer. Like, even though it wasn't like
much.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
I want to interact with Zelda more. I really like the new Zelda design, but you don't see her that often.
She's probably gonna get kidnapped or something.
Oh, God damn it. I want to interact with her more because I really like her design.
It kind of looked like that was gonna be the case. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I really like that design, like that kind of like tomboyish design. I really like that on Zelda, but
she looks like Linkle.
She does. Yeah, like I want to interact with her more. Like it probably is one of like my more favorite Zelda designs outside of the Twilight Princess design. I really like the Twilight Princess design. I think she looked very elegant in Twilight Princess. Yeah, like I kind of really like that tomboyish design she has in Breath of the Wild. Yeah, but you don't see that that often.
I really like the part with the skeleton guy, the zombie
at the end.
Yeah,
the Ganondorf.
Yeah.
Well, what is probably Ganondorf? It hasn't been 100% confirmed, but it's Ganondorf.
I really like that. I'm like, oh, it's spooky.
I like the idea of having more horror stuff in Zelda. Yeah. Like, I remember having all the creepy stuff in Ocarina of Time, the creepy stuff in Majora's Mask. Yeah. I like that idea, and I like having like more dark and like horror areas in Breath of the Wild. Because it's kind of like rife for that area to have more caves and stuff like that.
Majora's Mask, I was trying to play it and I got like, I didn't get bored, but I got lost. And
running theme for you in games, isn't it?
Well, I feel like I'm being called out. But I got lost, and having a time limit for stuff, even though it's not technically a time limit, it makes me very anxious. So I don't like playing games with a time limit. You know what I thought, actually, going back to 7?
What?
You know, it tells you at the top of your game, like, how much time has passed or, like, what time it is. I thought it was, like, a count. I don't know why, but I thought it was, like, a countdown till, like, you know, when the
when the meteor crashes.
Yeah. I didn't know anything about Majora's Mask, so that's just... I was like, I only have this much time until the meteor is gonna hit this planet.
The moon. So. Yeah, like I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, that moon is pretty creepy.
What was there? I mean, I guess we could talk about the Banjo-Kazooie announcement.
I didn't play Banjo, so
yeah, neither have I. But it's cool that he's in.
That's cool.
It was actually pretty cool when I watched the trailer and like, oh, the puzzle piece. Oh shit, Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome.
Like even as someone who has not played the games, like, oh shit.
Yeah. Even as somebody who never played the games, I can understand the significance.
Yeah.
So.
And it was very cool watching everyone freak out.
Dragon Quest.
The hero.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I was excited. You know, I was more excited about that than I was about the Banjo-Kazooie thing.
Well, because you actually played the Dragon Quest games.
I was like, oh my god.
It was very cool to see all the other Dragon Quest protagonists.
I know, it made me really happy.
Yeah.
I was like, the protagonist from 7's there, the protagonist from 8's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just the Dragon Quest 11 protagonist. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Guy.
Yeah.
Whose dad fell into the volcano.
That's always the funniest thing. I remember when I played the first Dragon Quest, and it was like, oh, hey, thanks for coming here. As you know, your dad saved the world, and then fell into a volcano. I'm like, wait, what? He saved the world, and then fell into a volcano.
Dragon Quest is pretty funny. If you've ever played it, it's a really, like...
It's pretty humorous for, like... a JRPG.
Yeah. Everything about it is kind of funny. Like, the characters are pretty funny and likable. Mm-hmm. Like, in 7, they're all really likable. Some of them, like Sentinels of the Starry Skies, I would not recommend playing. Just because I mean, I think it kind of goes back to, like, old Dragon Quest. Kind of, like, roots, where it's like...
You have to make your own party.
You have to make your own party, but I personally, coming from 8...
8 is probably the best one to start out with. I will have to say. From the little time I played with 8, it's probably the best to start out with.
I think it was the first one released. I mean, it was like the first like mainstream like Dragon Quest game.
I think Dragon Quest 3 came out in America. Well, okay. It's the first console one, really.
Yeah. And it was the one that I think most people picked up.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely the most popular one, except for 11. It's the most popular one in America. 11 is super popular everywhere, but yeah.
Yeah. And it's pretty good.
11 is also a pretty good one to start out with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I went back and played Dragon Quest 1, I'm like, what's happening in this game?
I never played the first one, so I've only played 8 and 7.
The first one is pretty funny just by how confusing it is. Because literally the first lines are like, as you know, your dad saved the world and then fell into a volcano. But like, even then, it's like, okay, you can do whatever you want now, and then you make your own party, and then like, you just leave and go somewhere.
I don't know, Sentinels of the Starry Skies, I own it.
If you want to go back to your roots, you can go back to Sentinels of the Starry Skies. I would actually just finding a way to play the original Dragon Quest, just by how like ridiculous it is.
Sentinels of the Starry Skies is just boring, and it's lonely.
Sentinels of the Starry Skies is an interesting one, because, yeah, you could play it, because it's like an old school style, but if you really want the old school style, you should just play the originals.
It was also meant for multiplayer.
Oh, yeah.
So the world feels really big, but also it feels really lonely.
Yeah.
Because coming from 8...
to that.
To 9, and then you're like, what the heck? There's nobody to talk to. I'm so lonely.
But if you have not played a Dragon Quest game, I would suggest either finding a way to play 8 or just play 11. Well,
now there's a lot of ways that you can play 8. Well, 2 ways. You can either play it on the PS2, which I recommend.
So do I.
But there's a lot of extra content on the one for the DS. So
I don't care. You should just play 2. Just play on the PS2.
Yeah, because I'm gonna replay because I bought it again because it was on sale.
You're gonna replay on the 3DS?
Yes. So there's 2 releases, one for the PS2 and one for the 3DS. The 3DS one looks bad. The 3DS one looks really bad, but the PS2 one looks pretty good.
First time.
And it's held up pretty well compared to the 3DS one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they re-released it on the Switch...
I would suggest buying that one. If they re-release it on Switch, buy it.
Because if they did like an HD like remaster,
well, not even an HD remaster, just port the PS2 one. It still holds up.
Yeah, it still looks really good.
The thing with the PS2 one is that it's kind of like Wind Waker, where the art style really ages well. That you don't need to really update it.
I would just like just maybe
polish it a little bit
because it's like looking through like a mason jar or something. Everything looks so fuzzy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying, like, the art style is perfectly fine that you don't need to, like, redo everything.
Oh, yeah.
Just put high textures on there.
Yeah, just clear it up or something. Just, you know, because the game is still really good. And the characters are all likable. And they're all fun to talk to. And the voice acting is good. Really good. That's one thing about, like, at least later Dragon Quest games, is that the voice acting is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
8 has really solid voice acting, like really solid. And it's all like, they all have accents because they're all supposed to be like...
From different areas.
Yeah. So, but they're all like English accents.
I'm sure in Japan it's a different way. Yeah.
And the same goes for 11 too.
Yeah. I do suggest playing either 8 or 11. You don't need to play all the Dragon Quest games.
If you're going to play 11, buy it for the Switch.
Yeah.
Don't buy it for the PS4. Do not make my mistake. And buy it
you
for
bought
the
it
PS4.
in like, I think 2 weeks after they announced the complete edition for the Switch.
Yeah, I really should have just returned it. But I think at that point I couldn't get my money back.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Yeah, I think it was like almost like a month after. And I was like, oh, are you for real?
That's fine. Just play on the PS4. I'll play on the PS4 and you can play on Switch. I don't care.
Yeah, like, because the problem with the PS4 one, there's gameplay wise, there's no difference. I think you get extra stuff in the Switch version.
Yeah, there's more story content in the Switch version. But
the main problem for the PS4 release is that it comes with like MIDI music.
Yeah.
And the Switch version comes with the orchestral soundtrack, which is what you want.
You always want the orchestral version. The PS2 Dragon Quest 8 is the orchestral version, right?
It was released with the orchestral soundtrack. Yeah. And not the Japanese. The Japanese one actually wasn't.
Yeah, it only had MIDI.
Yeah. So
the music in Dragon Quest is good enough to justify the orchestral version. Don't get the MIDI one. It just sounds bad.
It sounds so bad. It sounds so bad. I was listening to the music. I'm like, why does it sound so bad? And I couldn't figure it out. I talked to my coworker, and he's like, the music is bad. I'm like, okay, so it's not just me. Okay, the music does sound bad. And he's like, yeah, because it's all MIDI tracks. And I'm like, oh, it all makes sense now. Yeah. It all makes sense. And I listened to it, the orchestral soundtrack, and I was like, wow, it sounds so much better. It sounds so much better. And it's a shame. Yeah. Because it really drags down, like, it doesn't ruin the game, but Dragon Quest music is really good.
It very much enhances the atmosphere of the game. Yeah. So I think now we should talk about the Pokemon drama.
We'll talk about it for a little bit because I don't want to go on too long about it. The big Donphan in the room.
The hashtag bring back the national dex, or as Shofu like to call it, free the guys. For those who do not know, in the latest Pokemon Direct, or it wasn't Nintendo Direct, one of the things, or the Pokemon Treehouse, whatever, Nintendo Treehouse, they talked about how they're not bringing back the national dex because they're not transferring over all the Pokemon. Yeah. They're not having all the Pokemon in the games. They're not going to be programmed in the games. So you can't even hack them in. And they're not going to bring back Z moves, and they're not going to bring back Mega Evolutions. You're only going to have Dynamaxing.
Oh, they're not going to bring back Megas either?
Nope. No Megas. No Mega Dynamax.
I'm kind of sad about the Megas, though. I kind of like Mega Evolution.
I do too. So they're not going to bring back those things. So, what do you think about that, Sarah?
Well, I didn't know about the Megas. I'm sad about that. I like Mega Evolution.
So do I, but I understand why they're not doing it, but I do like Mega
I didn't do a lot of research, let's be fair.
That's all you need to know, really. The Nintendo Treehouse only showed, like, the demo stuff.
Well, I know, but, like, people are saying, like, why they can't do it.
Okay, so I think the official reason why they say they can't do it is because development time, if they do all 800 plus, it would delay the game. So they're just not gonna do it. That's the official reason they're giving out. And there's lots of speculation why people would say not do it. I think Masuda did a press release saying they're because of all the high quality animation, quote unquote, that they're putting into the game, like they can't do it and whatever. So those are the official reasons. Right. And other people were like speculating, like, oh, it's because of all the Dynamaxing that they can't put it in, or like, oh, it's because of yada yada they can't put it in.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd rather have Megas than Dynamax.
Yeah, I get that.
But I'm excited to, I'm excited for something new. Well, we've talked about it.
Yeah.
And I understand why people are upset.
I do too. Okay. Just to get my feelings across, I understand why people are upset because it's a staple in the games to have all the Pokemon there, and like
gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. I understand, but it doesn't hurt the quality of the game at all. Straight up, guys, like it just does not.
How many of you actually catch them all? Like, be serious.
Well, even then, like even if you are one of those people, it still does not affect the quality of the game at all. Because none of the games, I guess, except the first two, has ever had every single Pokemon in just the games.
In just one region.
In just one region. So, like, Ruby and Sapphire didn't have all the Pokemons. Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. Fucking Black and White 2, whatever. X and Y, Sun and Moon. They never have all 800 plus one Pokemon in those games. So it does not affect the quality of the game at all. It just doesn't. I don't know why people are complaining in the fact that, like, oh, the games are bad.
Yeah.
Because they're not. Like, it's a shame that it's not in there. Don't get me wrong.
Are, like, people boycotting buying the game?
Some people are. I listened to Shofu talk about this.
Yeah.
Right? I like Shofu. There's some other Poke YouTubers out there that I like J-Wits and yada yada. But I haven't heard their opinions on it. But Shofu talked about how, yeah, this sucks, and I would want it to be in the game, but Pokemon got me. So so I'm gonna buy the game anyways. And the thing is, they mentioned this in their talk that Pokemon is just an advertisement. The games are just an advertisement. Most of their money is from the merchandise and the card game.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised on how little money the game makes. Despite all the sales, it does not make that much money in the grand scheme of the Pokemon Company.
I mean, they have the Pokemon Center.
Yeah. Like, they make most of the money, probably more than 90% of the money, from the card game and the merchandise.
That cafe, that Pokemon cafe, so expensive. Okay, guys. Like, if you ever go to at least the one in Tokyo, there's like three. Some, like, in Tokyo, there's the DX one, which is the one I went to with the cafe. So expensive. Okay. My sister and Em and I shared 3 things, and it cost almost $30. And that's for one. This is like for one person. Okay. We got like a smoothie, an entree, and a dessert. And that costs like almost $40.
Yeah.
And that's for one person. One person. Like, and I know if you're on a trip, okay, and this is a tangent, I'm sorry, but when you're on a trip, you're planning on spending money, right? And that's to be expected. I'm just saying that this was a plate for like a child. Okay. It had an omurice in the shape of Pikachu. It had a small salad, some weird spaghetti thing, and something else. I don't remember what. But that little thing cost, I think, almost like 13 something dollars, maybe $14 or 1,400 yen. Ridiculous. And then there's, oh my god, that little Gengar like smoothie thing, and the parfait. I think the parfait was like one of the best things about that meal.
Was the food even good?
It was decent.
Oh. That's a lot of money for decent food.
Well, the parfait was really quite good. The parfait was the best thing about the whole experience. I mean, I really would have liked that Gengar cup because you could buy it.
Oh.
You could buy it, and it costs more, obviously, right? Because you're getting the cup with the smoothie, but they were all sold out.
Oh no.
I know. And if you get like a smoothie, you get a little, like, I have it here, but a little Moltres or a little like
A coaster thing?
coaster.
Yeah.
You get it with your purchase. So you get a little plastic coaster. It's like, I mean, that's basically what it's like, a little piece of plastic. It's the kind that sticks to the bottom of your cup. It doesn't really stay on the table. It just kind of, I'm just saying. And then she was like, "Oh, do you want to choose your character?" And I'm like, "Well, I'll leave it up to chance." I should have known. I don't like Moltres. Oh god, I was like, I should have just picked Zapdos. I knew I liked Zapdos.
But yeah, like I get what they're upset, and I think Game Freak's reasoning is kind of poor. I think like, oh, we don't have enough development time. Like, for me, it's always like, I don't care if the game's delayed.
Yeah,
you should just take your time.
Just maybe do it.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. It's one of those things where like, I understand why everyone's upset, but it doesn't hurt the game.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
It's still gonna be good.
I don't even think it's gonna hurt sales really. Because think about it this way. Think about the amount of people who either 100% the game or do like their, oh, I'm gonna transfer this Pokemon over, I'm gonna do that run, or whatever. That amount of people compared to like all the sales they do is less than 1% of the people who actually play the Pokemon games. I think most of the people who play the Pokemon games play the games and then use the Pokemon in the games. I don't know. It's one of those things, like, I understand why everyone's upset. The Pokemons aren't in there. It's unfortunate. Gotta catch them all, and you can't do that in this game.
Yeah, and your favorite Pokemon might not be in the game.
Yeah, they're banned.
Yeah.
But it's really like I said before, I'm not excited for any Pokemon announcement, so it's really hard for me to care about your guys' reasoning.
I also think that, I mean, it's sad if your favorite Pokemon isn't in the game, you know. But I feel like new region, focus on those new Pokemon. Yeah. You don't.
Okay, if they do a big Pokemon dump like they did for Gen 5, I'm all in. That's completely perfect reasoning to me.
Yeah.
Because Gen 5, for those who don't know, was the biggest Pokemon dump ever since Gen 1.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was like 80 plus new Pokemon.
See, and then,
which is ridiculous for a new gen.
And a lot of people are like, oh, Gen 5 had some pretty forgettable Pokemon and pretty bad Pokemon, but it also has some really, really cool Pokemon too. And I think people just kind of forget that how cool Gen 5 was. And I actually...
Okay, so I got the numbers. Gen 5 actually has the most new Pokemon in any game. It has 156 new Pokemon in Gen 5.
156?
Yeah.
That's a lot of new Pokemon.
That's a shit ton of new Pokemon.
That's a lot of new Pokemon.
So...
I think in Gen 6, they only had like 80 something.
That's right? 71, but you include Mega Evolutions, it's more.
Okay, we're not including Megas because we're just, those are like, you know, kind of like building on past Pokemon.
Yeah. So if you're not including megas, then it has the least amount, which is just 71.
Yeah.
But if you are, then it's like 100 something.
Oh. What did Hoenn have?
Hoenn had 133, and they had 2 new Pokemon from old families. So I think that's like the Rhydon evolution and the Magmar evolution. I forgot. Rhyperior and Magmar.
For Gen 3?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, was that Gen 4?
That's Gen 4.
What's a Gen 3 new evolution then?
Azumarill?
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, was it?
No, it's not. I'm lying. Stop.
Was it baby Pokemon? Why not?
Oh, yeah.
Azumarill and why not?
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. Why not? There you go. So, like, if they introduce like 120 plus, or even just 100 plus new Pokemon, I completely understand. Like I said, like I would rather have them like delay the game and introduce all Pokemon, but they're not going to do that. They already said they're not going to do that.
I'd rather have that than Gen 6, where it was like
Mega.
all old Pokemon and like no new Pokemon.
Well, there were new Pokemon, just not as much.
Well, but why go to a new gen if I can just like it was Route 1 and it was like a bunch of like old Pokemon, and I'm like, why are there just old Pokemon here and not new Pokemon?
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like there was more old Pokemon than there was new Pokemon. And I'm like, I didn't pay to play the same game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I didn't expect to like see the same old Pokemon that I did in the last game or the games before that.
Yeah, I understand that, but like, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, but it still plays the same to me, right? Like I like seeing new Pokemon. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Gen 5 was probably my favorite thing because Gen 5 it's like I went back to playing Pokemon after a long time. And it was just new Pokemon.
I mean, there's a lot to like about each gen, but I'm just saying for Gen 6 in particular, I felt like there wasn't enough Pokemon. So if Gen 8 has more Pokemon and not like, more new Pokemon than old Pokemon, I'll be happy. But I don't want a Gen 6 situation where there's just as many old Pokemon as there is new Pokemon. That's not what I'm playing a new region for. And it kind of looks like, at least in the trailer, they tried to not show any new Pokemon, at least in the open areas, but there's still like old Pokemon like Mudbray and like Tyranitar and Avalugg.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite Pokemon, Avalugg.
Yeah, like I agree. Like I would rather see a bunch of new Pokemon.
And I don't think it ruins the game at all. No. And I think it's still like a really fun game. It's just that like that's my preference. I'd rather have more new Pokemon than old Pokemon. It's nice to have old Pokemon, like familiar faces. And maybe that was kind of what I was missing in 5. That even though there was a bunch of new Pokemon, I still kind of wanted to see old Pokemon.
Another thing I very much appreciate about not having all the Pokemon over is the competitive scene will probably be a lot better now. Because for those who don't play competitively, like, yeah, to bring back the National Dex probably affects the competitive scene the most, but it kind of fixes it a lot too. Because before, or I guess now, the competitive scene is a mess. Because now you need to have a Mega Pokemon. Because if you don't, you're an inherent disadvantage. And you need to have a Z move. Because if you don't, you're an inherent disadvantage. So you need to have both of them. You need to bring both of them. And then you need to bring a Pokemon that will counter their Mega Pokemon. And then you have to have your whole entire team revolve around that.
Yeah.
So it's a very big mess right now in the competitive scene. So not bringing all the Pokemon over, that's pretty good to me. Cause I know people will say like they kind of did that for Gen 6, where they like you could only use Kalos Pokemon, and Kalos included Pokemon for the VGCs. But even then, the Smogon OU format don't care about that. So I would rather, from a competitive standpoint, I would rather have only some Pokemon be legal, and doing that by not having all the Pokemon in the game inherently, it might make it more fun for me competitively. bring it back to the national dex thing. Like I said before, it's hard for me to care about people saying like the game, like I want to boycott Pokemon because of this. It really is, because the game's probably gonna sell fine.
Yeah, go ahead and boycott Pokemon, I guess. I don't know what the plan is. They're still gonna pump out Pokemon games. They already made like two games that were like not so good.
I would be very surprised if this game sells worse than
Detective Pikachu.
If this game sells worse than fucking X and Y, maybe, or Sun and Moon, like I'll be pretty surprised. Like maybe not as surprised because like it's on the Switch, so you only need to buy like one game, or really. And I think there's more 3DSs in the world than the Switch. I'm not 100%.
And I would think that more people. Well, the Switch is like kind of like overtaking PS4 sales, right?
Also, there might be more Switches out there in the world than 3DS.
Maybe, but it's also really expensive.
Yeah, it's also really it's way more expensive to get into than the 3DS. So I'll be like somewhat surprised if it sells like slightly less, but if it sells significantly less, I'll be very surprised.
And it's only going to be like one copy per household, pretty much.
So I'll be very surprised if it sells significantly less. Mm-hmm. I won't be as surprised if it sells like slightly less.
But it's going to be a $60 game.
Yeah.
Instead of its usual $50 or $40. I forgot how much it is.
Was it only 40 for Sun and Moon or 50 for Sun and Moon?
Yeah, I think it's only 50.
Because when it was 60. Anyways.
No.
Well, yeah, like I'll be very surprised if it doesn't sell well. Mm-hmm. Boycott the game and prove me wrong. I highly doubt you are, but kind of like the reality we live in. Like most of the sales for the Pokemon games are kids, and people are dedicated to the games already.
Yep.
So,
and if you're a big enough fan, you're gonna buy the game. Like, I don't know who you're kidding. You're gonna buy the game. Like,
good. Okay, like
I don't know if that sounds kind of bad, but like,
I mean, okay. Look, people might not buy it out principle, but let's face it. Not including the national decks does not affect the game. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't. Like they didn't have the national decks introducing XY. They didn't have the national decks introducing Gen 3. Like they have the Pokemon coded in, but it doesn't mean that like you had access to them.
And maybe in the next game they'll add the national decks. You know?
I mean, yeah, probably. They'll have more time.
Yeah, because all the models will have been made already.
Yeah. Gen 4 remake, please.
Yeah.
I want to see high quality Cynthia. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much all my thoughts on it because I have very little to complain about. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's a shame that's not in the game. Would I rather have it in the game? Yeah, 100%. But it doesn't affect the game.
And I think that's pretty much all our thoughts about it because I don't have anything else to say about it besides, you know, it doesn't really affect me too much. Mm-hmm. So
I think if you have complaints about it, I know a lot of our friends actually do. Leave a comment. I really want to hear your reasoning on this.
Let me ask for my friends who are complaining about it. Mm-hmm. Do you play the games? And I don't mean this in a rude way, right? Mm-hmm. But if you play the game, then I feel like you have some reason to complain.
Okay. Let me even have a two-pronged question with this. Do you play the game? Yeah. And if so, does not having the national decks really affect the game for you?
Yeah. Do you feel like if you don't have the national decks, it'll be a worse game? And I mean this in like a nice way, right? Like I'm not saying this because
in a sincere way.
Yeah, because I'm not saying that like anyone who thinks that it you know,
like it does, they're wrong.
Yeah,
no,
that's not wrong.
That's not the case. Like, because I know for both of us, we play the game and not having national decks in there does not affect the game for us at all. Mm-hmm. So if it does affect you, tell us why.
Yeah. Can you like explain your reasoning? It sounds like I'm being really passive aggressive, but that's not like the case. But I just want to know why it affects your game so much,
Mm-hmm.
or it affects the way that you play, or even your reasoning for it.
Yeah.
Like, if you play the game and not having the national dex really hurts the overall experience,
Mm-hmm.
can you please tell us why? Because in my personal experience, not having the national dex doesn't mean that the game is any less fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a fun game, and it's still like a good adventure. What makes Pokemon games good is the Pokemon that you have with you. So to me, it kind of just sounds like not having the national dex means that the Pokemon that are in the game, that are gonna be in the game, aren't as good as the ones that were in the other games. But that shouldn't be the case, you know? Every region brings something new. So having new Pokemon shouldn't mean that don't mean that the old Pokemon aren't good anymore, or that the new Pokemon aren't as good as the old ones. It's just something different. It's something new, and it's something to be experienced. That being said, if you think that I'm wrong, or that Kevin's wrong, or we're both wrong, that we have just shitty opinions,
Like, okay.
you can just let us know.
Yeah. Like, and to clarify, we're saying this purely from the game perspective.
Yeah.
From like the principle of the matter, yeah, they should have all the Pokemon in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the principle of the matter, like, yeah, they should. It's catch them all, right?
Yeah.
And from a development matter, they should just delay the game. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right.
So from that perspective, that I can totally understand.
Yeah.
But from a person who plays the game, it really doesn't affect the game at all.
Yeah.
And if you start, because sometimes it's not even that you start off with a national dex. Sometimes you have to earn.
You just beat the game, you have a national dex.
Yeah. If you beat the game, right?
Yeah.
You get the national dex. So even when you start the game, you don't have a national dex.
Yeah.
So that to me, it's like, does that mean that it ruins the overall experience of the game for you because you don't start with a national dex?
No.
So
I think in Emerald, you can't even transfer Pokemon over from the old game until you beat the game.
yeah.
So
Was Emerald a bad game because
you could only use Hoenn Pokemon?
you could only use Hoenn Pokemon and you couldn't access the national dex yet?
Unova, you couldn't transfer any Pokemon until you unlock the lab, which is way down the line. So.
Yeah. I just want to know if those games were ruined for you because you couldn't have the Pokemon that you wanted at the start.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it sounds like to me, is that
you couldn't do your Scrafty only run or your Mudkip only run.
To me, it's just like, I don't think the national dex really affects your first reaction to the game because you couldn't even.
Or even your experience.
Your experience, well, yeah. It kind of just sounds like if you don't have the national dex at the start, then it's not good. That's kind of what it sounds like to me, because you get the national dex at the end. What leads up to you getting the national dex shouldn't be affected with you getting the national dex or not. It should be what you experience from the beginning of the game to the end of the game.
Yeah.
And then the national dex is just like an add-on, like the icing on the cake, right? You can get all the Pokemon now. Congratulations, you beat the game. But does that mean that from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, that wasn't good anymore? Or it was only good up until the point, it was bad up until the point you got your national dex.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the game is good now.
Yeah.
Because that's what it sounds like to me. That that you're only playing the game to get the national dex and not to enjoy the Pokemon game. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have very strong feelings, I guess, about people complaining about it. And they have every right to complain about like.
Yeah, they have every right to complain.
Yeah.
Let's face the fact, Game Freak sucks. They do.
Yeah.
The Pokemon is the only thing good they could bring out, and it kind of like.
I liked Harmonite, I guess.
Yeah, like the Game Freak as a company sucks, but like, so you have lots of legitimate complaints about it. It's just that this particular one, I feel like it has the least ground for it.
Yeah, personally. But if we're wrong, if you think we're wrong, then I would love to hear an argument for it. And we're not talking about, like, just to clarify again, we're not talking about like the things that Game Freak could have done. Like, yes, they should have put in all of the Pokemon. Yeah. That's something that they should have done and could have done. But we're just talking about
the quality of the game.
The quality of the game. And if having the national Dex ruins the stuff that comes before it.
Yeah, it honestly affects the game for you.
Yeah. And for us personally, I don't think so. At least for me personally, sorry. I don't know. But Kevin and I are pretty much always on the same page.
Usually.
Yeah. I'm not trying to backpedal or anything, but, you know, I don't want people to be upset.
Oh, we'll see.
Just because
if people watch this and they're upset, they can leave a comment and we'll respond.
Yeah. I feel like people are going to be upset at me for what I said. I hope our friends aren't upset at me.
It's fine. Anyways, with that said, this has been episode 13 of Just a Couple Thoughts. Thank you for listening.
The big 1-3.
We really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. If you have any comments, please comment below on our YouTube channel. If you are listening through a podcasting site, we have an email, JustACoupleQnA@gmail.com. Leave a comment, like the video, share us with all your friends, subscribe, download the podcast, etc., etc., etc. We will try not to be late, but you know, we're doing other stuff, so if we're late. But we will try to upload every week.
Going to the gym, getting that summer bod. Getting jacked.
Sarah, stop. Our scheduled time is Sundays at 5 p.m. But delays are delays. Sorry, guys. But with that said, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.